Here's a little backstory leading up to the reading for today. A group of Pharisees were observing the Sadducees challenging Jesus. It was of particular interest to both groups how Jesus would answer their question regarding the resurrection. The two groups didn't share the same opinion about this theological topic. Both groups, however, were seeking to build evidence against Jesus, hoping to stop his ministry. By the way, the Pharisees, they believed in the resurrection, and the Sadducees, they didn't. And that's why they're sad, you see. Sorry, had to. In all seriousness, the debate taking place between Jesus and the Sadducees was complex. It required a robust set of skills to understand the Scriptures. But in their attempt to stump Jesus, they failed. Jesus charged them as not knowing the Scriptures, nor knowing the power of God. Jesus won the debate. He silenced the Sadducees. The Pharisees, they were impressed with Jesus and his answer. Nevertheless, they wanted to argue with Jesus as well. Again, hoping to discredit him and send Jesus to the courts for punishment. A spokesperson for the Pharisees, a scribe, a lawyer, a proven expert on Jewish canon law, stepped forward to question Jesus. Those present, they were leaning in to hear the debate, to hear another debate about another lofty topic. After all, the other debates, they had provided some entertainment, and they were sometimes even shocking. The scribe, wearing his studious, powerful attire, showing his educational accomplishments with his religious garb, demonstrated his authority. He stood ready to confront Jesus. But the scribe, however, did something that was unexpected. He asked a very basic question. A question so fundamental to Jewish teaching that even the children knew the answer. Teacher, what is the greatest commandment? The answer is contained in the most important prayer in Jewish life. And Jesus answered when he said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your mind, and with all your strength." This was a very familiar prayer to the Jews. It was part of their daily prayer. We call it the Shema. It was the first prayer memorized by the children. The Shema prayer is a prayer that is prayed twice every day. It's the first words spoken in the morning, and they're the last words spoken before sleeping. Shema, Israel, Adonai, Eloheinu, Adonai, Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Then Jesus added something else. He said, the second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. Jesus is addressing what was missing in the Jewish religious culture. You see, we know from other stories and teachings of Jesus that the religion of the Sadducees and Pharisees was surface level. Just a whitewashed stone, Jesus said. It was a show. It was lacking depth and transformation. Their religion wasn't producing people who loved God because, well, it lacked the evidence. It lacked the evidence of a people that loved others, including others outside of their religion. A reasonable paraphrase of the Shema could sound like this. Hey, pay attention. You, those called by birth into a relationship with God. The Lord is one. Love Him with your inner self, your whole being, with all your mind and all your strength. And when you have this right, you will love others and treat others the same way that you want to be treated and loved. Notice how the scribe responds to Jesus. You are right, teacher. You have truly said that He is one, and there is no other besides Him. And to love Him with all the heart and with all the understanding, with all the strength, and to love one's neighbor as oneself is much more than all whole burnt offerings and sacrifices. You see, the scribe, he knew the second part. But how so? Well, it was there all along. He was an informed man. No doubt he had studied the Scriptures well, and it appears to me that his understanding, it invited a warm response from Jesus when Jesus said, "You're not far from the kingdom of God." The Shema is closely related to the Decalogue, the laws given by God to Moses, the ones that we most commonly call as the 10 Commandments. You can read the first account of the 10 Commandments in Exodus 20, when Moses first received the law from God, but the people were really scared because of the setting. But later, in the second reading of the law, Deuteronomy chapter 5, Moses shared the 10 Commandments and then later established the Shema in the next chapter. The first 4 commandments have to do with people putting God at the center of their adoration and faith, as though they had no other plan B for faith, hope, and love. The rest of the commandments, they have to do with loving other people, honoring your parents, not murdering others, not committing adultery, not stealing, not lying about others, not coveting. See, the religious crowd, they'd missed the point of relationship with God. And Jesus steps in and he says, listen, when you respond to God's love by making Him the very center of your life, loving Him with every ounce of your life, affection, work, and play, you will love others by truly esteeming your family. You'll respect the dignity of all humans as made in the image and likeness of God, and you won't sexualize others, and you won't take from them what is rightfully theirs. You won't lie or deceive people, and you will live in a place of contentment, being satisfied with what you have and not desiring another person's life or belongings. When you genuinely love God, it changes everything about how you love and serve others. The Apostle John, late in life, summed it up this way: we love God because He first loved us. And if someone says, I love God but hates his brother, John says he's a liar. He proves the point by saying he can see his brother, but he hates him, so he cannot love God, whom he has never seen. And God gave us this command: whoever loves God must also love his brother. The scribe, he was close to full understanding. In fact, he was standing in front of the very king of the kingdom of God. Jesus is searching for those who worship in spirit and truth, allowing the very word and revelation of God to produce genuine faith, faith that produces lives that glorify God and how others are received, treated, and loved. So what about you and me? We would do well to pause and to consider the truth that is in our reading today. Let us be people who put God very first as the one we trust, the one we worship, the one for whom we put upon our affection. In the words of the great gospel singer, one of my favorites, he's won 9 Grammys in fact, Andre Crouch, he says, "Can't nobody do me like Jesus, because He's my friend, and because I found in Him a sweet resting place." Brothers and sisters, nobody's loved us like Jesus. Let's love Him back by loving others into a relationship with the Lord.